this is chapter 54 of The Lake, and as you can tell, this is another Kaitlynn After Dark, also known as Kaitlynn tries to record way too late in the day and then gets really sleepy, and then her eyes hurt, so then she can't turn on the big light anymore. I really hope you enjoy chapter 54. I stumbled back and gripped the edge of the doorframe. Jake, she's killed him. Dried blood trails from his mouth to his chin. It looks like it would flake away if he touched it. His face is pale like a porcelain doll's. Find him? Lillian asks. My blood burns. I want to scream at the laughter in her voice. Turning, I look at Kayla first. She shakes her head, her face crumpling. Then I look at Lillian. Lips pursed, dead eyes alight with satisfaction. Why? I rasp. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. People like that make me sick. Star of the football team, thinking he's better than everyone else, worth more. He was probably scared that night too. Lillian scoffs. Yes, of course he was. Little Esme, always looking for the good in people. Who are you kidding? You're not even good. I'm not the same person I was back then. It's been 10 years. I've grown up, I'm stronger, and I would never make a mistake like that again. No one is the same as they were when they were 8. In the back of my head, I can't stop thinking, she's a murderer. I was stupid to even think we could talk this through. The revenge she wants isn't the kind that Kayla and I are supposed to survive. Lillian thinks our deaths will make things right. You haven't changed that much, she says. Neither of you told the camp that all of this involved you. We never thought you would do something like this, I say, nodding back toward Jake's. He's dead, Lillian. You killed him. How long ago? It couldn't have taken longer than a few hours. No one knew Jake was missing. She waves her free hand. About an hour before you came to me. He was an asshole. He didn't deserve to die. You could have dealt with this another way. She rolls her eyes. Don't advocate talking when you've spent 10 years hiding your sins. It makes you a hypocrite. What does all of this make you? You are the ones who hurt me. All I'm guilty of is speaking to you that night. You terrified us with that deer's head. You ran at Kayla when she called you out. She only pushed you out of self-defense. She never meant for you to fall into the fire, and now you've killed Jake. I didn't have a choice, and he deserved everything he got. I wouldn't harm an innocent person. That's the difference between you and me. I push away from the door. The smell from the bathroom is making my stomach churn. You were scared of your dad, and we understand that. We were scared of our parents too. Can't you see, Lillian? We didn't feel like we had a choice either. Her face freezes. We all feared something that night. I made it sound like our parents were cruel as well. Maybe she'll relent if she thinks we shared a similar childhood. Shut up, she screams. Shut up, you bitch. You have no idea what you're talking about. I raise my hands, palm facing her. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Except that I do. I understand fully. Fear can be debilitating. Okay, Kayla says. Here's what we're going to do. Jake was a bully to you, so you did what you had to do. Lillian looks surprised but nods. He was evil. Yes, Kayla replies, but thanks to you, he will never hurt anyone again. We need to get rid of the body, though. If the cops find him, he can be traced to you. Your DNA will be everywhere. My jaw drops. What is she saying? Kayla shakes her head at me. Esme, this is the only way. We have a responsibility to help Lillian cover this up after what we did to her. We'll scrub Jake clean and bury him deep in the woods. Then we'll burn this cabin to the ground. What the hell? She was madly in love with him 5 minutes ago. Lillian watches Kayla as if she's some complicated puzzle. It's not complicated. Kayla's in full survival mode and it's disturbing. I've never seen her like this. You're just adding another secret to the one we've been carrying. We can't do this. It's Jake, Kayla, I say. I ignore Lillian's smirk as she watches us disagree. What we had to do was our fault, and this is what we deserve for not doing the right thing all those years ago. Kayla stands and Lillian makes no move to stop her. Now let's strip his clothes off and put them in the fire. Stop. Do you hear yourself? What's the alternative, Esme? Kayla snaps. Lillian kills us. But how do we live with ourselves if we help hide her murder? How do we walk away from this? What is she going to do after we bury Jake? She's never going to let us walk away. There has to be some other way. You could die with him, Lillian says. Kayla is the one willing to do what's necessary. But would she help me clean up and hide her bestie's body too? Kayla's eyes widen. She looks at me pleading. Kayla, I whisper. Don't make me do that, Esme. We made a pact 10 years ago to never talk about that night. We can do it again. We'll help Lillian, and we can go home knowing that this will all be over. My head swirls with conflict and confusion. If we do this, would Lillian really let us walk away? We can't do that to Jake or to his family. Maybe this was Lillian's plan all along. She could be setting us up for Jake's murder. Kayla, this might not be what you think, I say. What do you think it is, Esme? Lillian asks. Kayla's face is red, like she wants to throw something at me. We are not going along with this blindly. I don't know what happens if we help you. Lillian's lips curl, but her smile isn't friendly. You go home. What, and we never hear from you again? Or are you now thinking that with Kayla's offer comes an opportunity? Kayla looks at us both. I'm not stupid, and neither are you, Lillian. Eventually, people will start asking questions, wondering who is terrorizing the camp, why an old cabin is on fire, and where Jake went. The cops will come looking. They might link it to you. After all, your DNA is all over this place, but if we help, our DNA is on his body, too. With wide eyes, Kayla looks from Lillian to me. She was never going to let us walk away. If we're convicted of a murder she committed. I tell you what, Lillian says to Kayla. If we kill Esme too, we'll bury her and Jake, and no one will ever know. If you refuse, you both die here today. 2 bodies, 3 bodies. I don't mind how many I get rid of. My stomach turns. She can't be serious. No, I say. Kayla is my best friend. She would never do that. Tell her, Kayla. Why isn't she telling Lillian to get lost? Kayla, I snap, tears well in her eyes. I'm sorry. I can't die. I can't. Her words punch the air from my lungs. Kayla, you're my best friend, I whisper, as fear grips my throat. She wipes tears from her cheeks. I'm sorry, Esme, but I choose me.